So good morning everyone. This session specially has been designed to all of you to prepare you or to make you comfortable about Accenture test, right? As you all know that we have already shared the pattern of this company, that what kind of questions are there. So once again I would like to take a small recap about the cognitive assessment and the next section, new section, which I would say that only Accenture conducts that test, right? Or that assessment. So in online test, one is the cognitive assessment. We all know about cognitive assessment. So in cognitive assessment, the format would remain the same. I mean, there will be three modules in this assessment, and these three modules are quantitative aptitude, logical reasoning, and verbal ability. So in today's session, I will not discuss much about these three verticals. We have already discussed a lot on these topics, these modules, right? Quantitative aptitude would remain the same as it was taught to you, it was delivered to you, all the topics. In verbal ability, again it would remain the same. Reading comprehension, sentence correction, fill in the blanks exercises, vocabulary exercises, verbal reasoning exercises. In verbal reasoning exercises, we have parajumpals and critical reasoning. In reading comprehension, you know that what kind of questions are there generally in placement papers for comprehension exercises. So I have not discussed much about cognitive assessment. This would remain the same as we have appeared for other companies like Capgemini and TCS and QT, right? Next one is the technical round. So I will not discuss anything here about the technical one, but yes, the purpose of this session is to make you aware about the communication assessment. Why I have taken this communication assessment here? Because no other companies or hardly one or two companies are there in the market or for campus placement which conduct this communication assessment. This communication assessment is very important, and I would say this, this is the round where a lot of students have challenges to clear this round to go for other assessments. Right? Now, when this question comes that why it is difficult for maximum students, so the answer for this question is it's assessment. Communication assessment. So this assessment is basically on four major points. One is sentence fluency, your vocabulary, your pronunciation, and sentence mastery. So this section, this communication section becomes difficult because you will be tested. Your communication will be tested on your pronunciation, and people who have MTI issue. I have seen people, who have challenges in speaking so, sh, v, b, z, j words. So this is the possibility that the questions in that assessment may be there with those words where people have MTI issues. This is the possibility. Those who have problem in sa, sh, please practice at least 50 words to go for this round. Vocabulary section is there. So here, again, your vocabulary is tested, that how good you are in using the right word at the right place, right? This may be the issue. Even I do not know the literal meaning of the word, or at times I do not know its connotation. At times I use positive connotation word at the wrong place, or a negative connotation word at the wrong place, right? So sentence fluency. There could be, another category of questions where your fluency is tested, right? So what kind of questions are there? What kind of sections are there in communication assessment? I'll discuss about it in details, right? How many questions will be there approximately? This whole section will have 20 questions to be answered in 20 minutes, right? So the first section comes, now I'm giving the name as section, but these are not the test section. This section is the category in communication assessment. So the first category is, once again, the reading assessment or the test of your reading skills. So in a reading comprehension, again, you must have this question. You might have this question in your mind that when the questions were there in cognitive assessment from reading comprehension, why again this reading section here? There it was the test of your comprehension skills, the reading comprehension. Here is the test of your reading skills. Please understand what kind of questions will be there. First of all, I would like to discuss the number of the questions here. 3 to 4 questions will be. Generally, in the reading section, there are 4 questions, but it varies. Maybe 3 to 4 questions are there from reading section. And in this reading section, how you will get the questions to answer, right? So these 3 to 4 questions will be flashed on your screen, correct? And you will have to read these questions. Please understand, this round becomes very difficult when you do not have control over your rate of speech. If you read sentences very fast, this may be the challenge that your communication, your pronunciation was not clear, right? Your tone was not clear. So whenever you have this section with the questions on your screen to read it, please take your time. Read the questions clearly and confidently, right? Do not rush in reading these questions. Correct? Clear? So your rate of speech should be very controlled here in the reading section. Second is, as I told you, this assessment basically is on listening, reading, writing and speaking, all basic skills in communication assessment, LSRW. This is listening round. Now, in the listening round, what kind of questions are there and how many questions are there? So once again, the same pattern, 3 to 4 questions. And how to answer these questions, any tips to answer these questions, or what kind of questions are there in listening round? Yes. There will be an audio, right? You will listen to the sentences and you have to repeat the same sentences. People call it as repeating round or repetition round, right? So this is the test of your listening skills. This is also known as repetition round. You have to repeat whatever you have listened, right? So repetition is there. And this is for your listening skills. So listen, those sentences clearly, and then again repeat. Next is jumbled sentences. So this is from your sentence mastery, right? Sentence fluency. But once again, then what kind of questions? 3 to 4 again. Here is the category. Questions in jumbled form. For an example, if I say writing Accenture sentences specific board teacher. So jumbled words are given to you, and what you have to do? You have to, these words, these sentences will be, these words will be flashed on your screen in jumbled form, and what you have to do? You have to, collect all the words and frame a sentence according to grammatically correct structure. Please understand, grammatically correct structure. You have to, write the subjective case, the subjective place verb, and the objective cases, and clauses, and phrases, adjective, objects. You should know, you should have clarity about it, right? So this is jumbled round, 3 to 4 questions, sentences in jumbled form. You have to answer the sentence. Yes, people generally take time here in framing sentences. So again, my suggestion is to everyone that please do not answer this category questions immediately. Just take your time, think about the sentence. At times we face challenges in putting the right articles and preposition at the right place. We know that subject can be taken at the subjective place, verb is at the verb place, but putting the right preposition and right article at the right place is another challenge in this model, right? Okay. Next is questions and answers. So serial may vary. maybe your test, communication test, may start with listening. Maybe somebody else can start with reading. Next is this question and answer round. Here you will be asked an open-ended question. An open-ended question. So let me make it clear that what kind of questions are considered as in the category of open-ended. Means descriptive type questions. So the question could be that suppose you are coming to your office and you find somebody, an old person crossing the road. You are already getting late to the office. What will you do in that situation? These questions are situation based. And once again, 2 to 3 questions is the bucket of this category. But yes, please, before answering these questions, please think about it. Think about the situation. This may be considered as behavioral plus communication assessment. Under this category communication, these questions are generally there to understand your behavior. What will you do in that situation? What will be your reaction in that situation, right? But again, in the terms of communication. Next category, I'll take it this category on the next page. The 5th one, and this is storytelling. I found this category very interesting, very beautiful category in this section. Just one, maybe this is just one question in the category. So the narrator would narrate a story to you, audio clip, right? You have to listen to the whole story carefully. And after that, you have to narrate the same story in 30 seconds. Right? You have to narrate the same story in 30 seconds. Now the question comes at times when I was listening to the whole story, I missed some important points. Right? So this section especially is to test your sentence must be, right? How good you are in framing sentences. So the tips that I would like to share here is, if you have, rather I would suggest you to have pen and paper with you, or if it is allowed, if there is no restriction of keeping pen and paper, please read all the instructions carefully. Then please make the note of some important points, bullet points. We generally call keeping these points in the presentation, right? So this is the funda for preparing a presentation. This is the funda of preparing a story, that you should have all the points in bullet, so that you will speak about it, you will frame some sentence about it, right? I'm sure you would remember the tips that we have discussed in, or rather we discussed in the previous papers for essay writing. Divide your topic in 3-4 categories: introduction, body part, conclusion. Same way you listen to the whole story. What will I speak in the introduction part? What will I speak in the body part of that storytelling? And what will I speak, or what will I write in the conclusion part, right? 6th category. Okay, I'm sorry. 6th category. Here is HR category. So this is very basic category. Again, it is the part of communication assessment. So questions are related to HR category. How old are you? So though this is not in the HR category, this is the personal question. So in HR, that introduce yourself. What would you like to speak about it? Share your biggest achievement. Did you achieve anything very big in your life which you can feel proud of yourself, right? So in that HR section, the question would be related to just HR category. But yes, the most difficult, once again I'm telling you, the most difficult category that we have seen for elimination is about pronunciation, right? And this is because of MTIH. This is because of the pronunciation that we heard since a beginning, right? Let me tell you one word here in pronunciation. I saw a person speaking this word in a different way. So PSALM, we call it psalm. Psalm is like the music, very, very, very natural natural music which is very sweet to us, right? So I have seen people using pizarn, right? So pronunciation is that category which may create some problems in clearing this communication down. And of course, sentence mastery and sentence fluency. So frame the sentences clearly, correctly, right? And I know this is not going to be very tough. You are already practicing these kind of exercises in your previous assessments. You are very good in essay writing, you are very good in paragraph writing, so you can frame sentences, you are very good in answering questions, right? So I think you will not have any challenge in clearing this communication assessment, whereas in case there is any issue, any challenge, any problem in understanding any of these rounds, please talk to us. Thank you so much. Have a nice day. Thank you.